Okay, now that you finish with your flowers, what you're gonna do with all these pulled out threads? I used to make a Loopy Loop flowers, and I will it actually was made out of twine. It was really cute flower a while ago, and I actually researched and I found that tutorial, and I will pop the link below. It came from the blog, but I haven't seen the video tutorial. So they were using a twine thread, and was continuous, and I will try to do the flower with this scraps. Okay, so for that particular flower, Loopy Loop flower, you're gonna need make your own tool. Don't be scared. So you actually gonna need a thicker chipboard, and I'm fighting that one because it wasn't really the best piece, but that's all I can scramble around the house right now. So you're gonna actually need your chipboard piece and the circle. The diameter of the circle, you decide how big the flower is supposed to be. So your flower gonna be about that big, and mine is about 2.5 inch. Okay, and let me see. So you you punch out your circle. Sorry, got runny nose. Punch out your circle and create the clock print on it. 12, 6, 3, 9, and on. Okay, so draw the clock, and that would be your points where you're going to be sticking your needles, and they should be stuck really tight. Or you can do like they are offering on the tutorial. You can punch 2 cardstocks and adhere them together, and then tuck in your pins in. But I use that corrugated chipboard from the box. That's all I can scramble. Okay, let's start. So after you're done pinning your you know, your thing, you're gonna go to you're gonna go around the 12 o'clock. So I can probably zoom in. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna go around 12 o'clock, and the tail I would leave in there. Okay, and I'm holding the tail with my thumb, and then I'm going 6 o'clock. Okay, then I'm going 11 o'clock. You can pull it or not. Go through the center. Okay, and then you're going on 5 o'clock. So you see you have 2 loops in here and 2 loops in there. So that's actually the whole procedure. You continue to do loops on 10, then on 4, and here is that scary part where your thread ends. Okay, so I'm gonna loop on 9. Okay, I'm gonna take another one and I'm trying it. Okay, so and what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go back on leaving the tail up. I'm gonna go back around what is this, 4. Okay, go back around 4 and loop around 9. Okay, and now 9 and 3, and now 8 and 2, and I'm gonna loop around 7 and leave my tail up here, and I'm gonna take another string, and again I'm gonna go back pointing on 8 through the center and looping the next string around 2 o'clock, and then right, well, it's up to you guys. Okay, so I'm gonna loop it one more time around 2 o'clock and 8, and then 1 and 7, and then 12 and 6, and I got another tail, and it will depend on you know, how big a piece of your burlap flower you were making, and that's where your string's gonna come up. So if you understood what I was doing, I just double looping the same area to, so now I pointed at 6 and I'm gonna be looping it around 12 again. Okay, trying to bring that tail in, and then I'm looping around 5 on this tail, 5 and 11, and now it's 4 and 10, now it's 3, and I'm wind up with my tail on the 9 o'clock, and I'm getting another one, and I'm pointing it at 3, trying to grab that tail, okay, and I'm bringing it around 9, and I'm taking it to the 2 o'clock, and then 8, and then 1 o'clock, and then 7, and I am winding up around 12 and looking on to 6. So continue with that till you cover kind of all chipboard, or you think the flower you know, it's thick enough, and I will fast forward right from here. Okay, I think that is good. Okay, I think that's gonna make the flower full. You right now I'm thinking you could have added a little yarn for the fullness. So, but I will leave them plain as is. But you can add the gosh, grab it. This type of yarn. Okay, so now that we got that done, now we need to get the big ear needle and get one of those strings into it. Let me get that done. Okay, so I would recommend to take a big ear needle, but not too long. Like if you will take a look on this Zinger set, it's like a middle size, but with a big ear. Okay, so you got your thread, and to thread this thicker strain through, I'm using the gum floss threads, and those are handy to have. And I have them actually in my caddy if I'm going anywhere. So you just get one out. I know it's hard to see that loopy loop, but they look like that. Okay, and what you do, you thread that tail and you feed your thread through, and then try to pull it. If you're lucky enough, it will go if it's big enough ear. Okay, and in this case it's not wide enough ear, therefore I'm gonna need to get another needle. So I do not have a full setup here up north, so therefore I'm going to be struggling with that one. Okay, let's try it again. Pull it through the ear, feed your thread, and try to bring it through, and voila. Do not lose it, so put it somewhere that you can see it and find it. Let me put this needle away. Okay, so now you find your last tail, and in this case is this one, and we're looking at 12 o'clock. So what you need to do, you need to separate each clock pedals to their part, to their clock. So if you will scrape and push them towards the center like this, okay, you will have a much clear picture of your petals. They're gonna be much tighter and much easier for us to catch. So if you understand what I'm doing, I'm just pushing the petals, the center. I'm making the center of the flower more tight. Okay, so now that we got our starting point, and because my tail, well, I'm gonna leave the tail for right now. Okay, so I'm looking at 12 o'clock and it doesn't make any difference. So decide on which petal you're gonna be going through. You're going underneath with your petal, underneath. Okay, and because under normal circumstances you would have a continuous thread, because you would be working off the spool. You don't need to do all this dancing around, but because I'm working with the scraps, I do need to be I want to be sure that I secure it all good, and I will loop it one more time the same manner, creating a loop around my first petal and tighten it. Actually, I can even go underneath of this loop to be sure, okay, to secure it. Just because I have a loose tail. Okay, so how are we going on the second petal? So I'm gonna go around my 12 o'clock, and instead of coming up on top of 11, you see the red is 12, the green is 11. Instead of doing that, I'm going underneath of 2, and I'm going above 10 o'clock, and I'm pulling it through. Be sure your thing, pull your string towards the center and create your loop. Okay, you looped around 12 and you're halfway around 11. So now we need to close 11. So I'm going underneath of 11 and 10. And I'm bringing the needle above 9. Okay, and I'm pulling it through. Try to pull it towards the center again. Now you looped around 11 and halfway around 10. Let's try it again. I'm bringing my needle underneath of 10 and underneath of 9, right there, and I'm bringing it on top of 8. Okay, and I'm pulling it through, and before we'll close it all, I'm gonna bring my thread towards the center and pull. Now I secured my 10 and I'm halfway secured 9. Therefore, I'm gonna finish my circle around 9, and I'm gonna create my next half loop on 8, bringing the thread down as closer to the center as possible. You want to have longer petals than bigger center. You can help it with the needle a little bit. Pull. Now I'm halfway around 7. I want to finish 7, so I'm going underneath of 7 and underneath of 6 and bringing it on top of 5. Continuously pushing my thread towards the center. And from now on, I'm gonna fast forward because I think right now you already got understood what's taking place.
Еще не время. Чуть позже я дам тебе знак. Послушай меня. Еще не время. Чуть позже я...
When you reach 12, all your flower is kind of secured. But to finish the thread, I would continue. Okay, so continue finishing your thread, and I will show you how to hide the tail. Unfortunately, my thread ended earlier than expected. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna feed it through again, and I'm gonna try to hide my tail. And it's basically you need to weave it in and out through the center. Okay, so just pull your thread in here, then pull your thread in there, and in there. Okay, and you can cut that off. Okay, so yay, where are my scissors? Cut that tail off. So now we have our flower, right? So we secured the center, and now what you are gonna do, open your box and just simply take out your needles. And there is your flower. So with the tails that were sticking out, but if you were using the whole thread, continuous thread, you don't need to do those, but I will trim them a bit so they wouldn't be so obviously sticking out. Let me zoom out. So, and here is your looped flower, and if you want to loosen it up just fry it using your hand. And there you have it. Wonderful flower. I hope you like it. I have more threads to work with. Talk to you later. Bye. Oh, one more thing. Keep your kit together. Do not throw this part away, and keep your needles handy and put it in your folder or place where you're making the flowers, so it always will be handy to have, so you wouldn't go and scramble around the house for the chipboard piece. Bye.
Слушай меня, еще не время. Чуть позже я дам тебе, дам тебе, дам тебе знак. Послушай меня, еще не время. Чуть позже я дам тебе, дам тебе, дам тебе. Что происходит с нами сейчас, скажи?